piece, right? That is the one. I've written this on the name of the, on behalf of the Eritrean communities in Texas.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so again, tell us why were you meeting this afternoon here in Crawford?
The reason why we are here is just because of Eritrean-Ethiopian problem. The problem has been solved already, and the problem was a border issue, a war. Ethiopia claimed that Eritrea took a piece of land from Ethiopia and declared war on Eritrea. And the war went on for 2.5 years. And the 2.5 years war, which was a cover for Eritrean destruction by Ethiopian government, didn't work. So finally, both countries ended up going to the court in The Hague. When they went to the court of The Hague, there was an agreement before that, which we call, or the world knows it as Algiers Agreement. The Algiers Agreement has 3 tenets, and the 3 tenets are that both countries make a peace and completely withdraw from any kind of hostilities and war at that time. Number 2, the UN and other countries like the US, European Union, African Union were the sponsors and guarantors of the commissions to be made to facilitate the court, which was named as Eritrea-Ethiopia Boundary Commissions Court. There were other 2 different commissions, but that was the main important part. And this court, both countries, Eritrea and Ethiopia, both of them agreed before even the court made a decision. Whatever the court says will be final and binding on both countries. And the sponsors or the guarantors, which were like the US, the African Union, the European Union, Algeria by itself, the United Nations and big, were guarantors and sponsors of this agreement, the final and binding nature of the court's ruling. So the court, after going through the whole process, both countries, had 2 representatives, and the UN would be the 5th one. The court ruling in The Hague that the piece of land which Ethiopia claimed was invaded by Eritrea was rewarded to Eritrea, as it should. It was Eritrean land, and the court rewarded it to Eritrea. At that time, the Ethiopian government, instead of abiding by the rule of the court, which they committed solemnly before, then they said, well, this court's decision was, it was branded by their Prime Minister, Meles Zenawi, that it is illegal, irresponsible, and unjust. And yet he had signed it on the name of his country, that both countries, his country will abide by the rule of the court as final and binding. And he refused to, Ethiopia didn't want to go through it.
What is your purpose here this afternoon?
The purpose of our demonstration is to let the American government under our President Bush, know that Ethiopia is not abiding by the rule of the court, by the rule of the court, and since the USA is a big supporter and a big friend of Ethiopia, we're just asking him to let the Ethiopians, to pressure the Ethiopians to follow the rule of the court, abide by the rule of the court, as well as to listen to the voice of reason. We don't want any bloodshed. We don't want any war between us and them. We don't want anybody to die, neither from Eritrea nor from Ethiopia. And the court has decided, whatever it decided, even though Eritrea had lost a lot of land, the court had allotted a big chunk of land which Eritrea claimed to Ethiopia. But Eritrea had committed itself to the final and binding nature of the court. And we accepted it. The Eritrean government accepted it.
Ethiopia has not.
Ethiopia refused. So since the US government is a good friend of Ethiopia, we are asking our president, fellow Texans from here, look, this is our concerns, and our concerns is Ethiopia is still sitting on sovereign Eritrean territories. So Ethiopia should be called to withdraw unconditionally from Eritrean territories, because that will lead to a senseless war. Eritrea is not going to fold her hands and see, a forceful military occupation of its sovereign land. So that's what we are asking. That is the bottom line of our demonstration.
I know that President Bush is not in town today. Do you hope that he will get this message?
He's not in town. We know he's not in town, but it's hard. It's very hard to spot him when he is in town. So what we are hoping is I have given that chief of police of Crawford, Texas, so that he can pass it to the aides of Mr. Bush here, and hopefully we hope, that it will get to him, and also we hope firmly that he will look into it in his short left time in his presidency and make a difference, and that difference will make a difference on the Eritrean and the Ethiopian people. From this, if he interferes, both countries, both people will benefit, and that's what we are asking. Really,
people like Jendai Fraser should
of course, people like Jendai Fraser, who is the Assistant Secretary for African Affairs, is trying to put Eritrea on the sponsor of terror, simply because Eritrea has a stand. The Eritrean stand on the Somali issue is, it is their issue. Let them clean up their house. The Somalis should clean up their house. Ethiopia has no business getting in there. No other country, including the USA, has business getting in there. If any other country want to help the Somali people, we can help them as a facilitator, facilitate a place where they can negotiate to clean up their house. That is the Eritrean stand from day one. So because of that, the Ethiopian government has tried its best to influence, to get their influence through Jendai Fraser, and Jendai Fraser also tried her best to open the court's ruling, which was already covered, which was already done, and this was already sealed, and this was exposed. It was not exposed by anybody. It was exposed by the straight talker American, Mr. John Bolton,
Ambassador John Bolton,
who was an ambassador for the UN to the US. He wrote in his book, and the one which he published, it's long,
oh yes, I just need like 15 seconds, which I've already got.
Anyways, he wrote in his book that for reasons he doesn't, which is
why did this group decide to come out and
symbolically? We came in to call for it symbolically.
I tell you why.
Texans, we are Texans. We just make a difference.
Because
I'll tell you, we are doing our civic duty. Your civic duty and my civic duty is, when you see something done wrong, when you see something injustice, unfair, you should stand up. And this matter started in 1998, and then the court issue started at 2000, and then the court ruling ended up in 2002. So almost 6 years passed after the court has made its decision final.
Oh yeah, I support my... Okay, no.